Thanks for tuning in to the Vintage Cinema Review. On today's episode, we're covering from 1981, Cannonball Run.
A classic to many, not necessarily to me.
Oh, the all-star cast really got me revved up for this flick.
Yeah.
And get that revved up.
And
Cannonball Run.
I think that's where the revving stopped.
Yeah, pretty much. The car stalled.
My engine ran out of gas on this one.
We all kind of agreed on this one, but we went ahead and reviewed it. It was voted on our poll. Still a lot of cool facts and cool little hidden things we went over.
I would say gems, but
yeah, gems.
No.
But one thing I forgot to mention is this one was rated PG. Listen back and I missed that. So yeah, rated PG. But anyway, sit back, relax, and enjoy the Cannonball Run.
Hey, this is Dave,
Matt,
And Zap.
and welcome to the Vintage Cinema Review.
where every week we review some of our favorite films from the past.
Hey, there ain't no late fees here.
Silence is golden. And be kind. Rewind.
Hey, yo, what's up, fellas?
Hey, what's going on?
What's up? What's up, Zap?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, nothing. Just slipping something into the old V.C.R. here.
Yeah,
This is actually one of the first instances, I should say, that I hope the V.C.R. breaks this evening.
I could agree on that.
I thought it was broken as soon as the movie started playing.
You know, where we found this gem.
Yeah. This one here, the Cannonball Run, 1981. This was recommended on our Facebook page. A lot of people voted on it. I haven't seen it in forever, so I didn't really know what to expect.
I really don't remember the movie until I watched it. I knew Burt Reynolds, and I thought that it could be cool in a way, like because it's Burt Reynolds, and had cars, fast cars. That's another cool thing.
Tracy Chapman would love it.
Yes,
Yeah, that's right. Forgot about that song.
Actually, if she would have starred in it, probably would have been a little bit better.
I don't know.
So
I don't know if anything could have made this movie any better.
yeah, you're right. So release date on this, June 19th, 1981. Running time was 95 minutes. It was directed by Hal Needham and written by Brock Yates. And we haven't heard of them. I mean, I've never heard of them.
Who? Hal Needham?
Neither of these guys.
No.
I mean,
we were 5.
yeah, I'm just saying, like, I guess their career didn't maybe go on from them. Maybe they did. I didn't really look into what they did.
Well, look at what they did. We seen what they did.
Right. Now, I wonder, I think one of these guys, though, actually was responsible for Smokey and the Bandit, maybe the Hal Needham character.
I think that's why didn't Reynolds do that as a favor?
It might have been.
Yeah. So
Zap got it.
that's absolutely correct. So Hal was a friend of his, and he ended up doing this movie as a favor.
As a favor. Okay, that makes sense.
He looked back. This is it's one of the fun facts, one of the countless fun facts in this wink, wink, fun movie
Right.
that Burt Reynolds in later years had absolutely quoted during interviews. Did not at all want to do that movie.
Yes, it was it was a solid for a friend.
I got
It was
you.
a solid, man.
Right.
as a rock.
So produced by Albert S. Ruddy. Budget on this was between 16 and 18 million. This one's crazy.
Oh, this is the squeezy juice. What is
Yes. Box office, $160 million.
God damn.
it? Burt,
What's
old Bertie Reynolds.
So for sure the juice is worth the squeeze on that one, but damn, I think a lot of people got hosed in that
Oh
squeeze.
my God. Yeah,
Is there a fact checker on that? Because I think that's an outlandish
Look,
number.
people are suckers.
maybe it's $160. I don't know. I better check that.
Or was it pesos?
It might be pesos.
I don't know, man. Yeah.
So
Aren't they worth more than the American dollar right now?
Now,
It might be.
thanks, Joe
Thanks, Joe.
Biden.
Yeah, right.
You did this.
You did this.
So filming locations on this, we got quite a few. Atlanta, Georgia, Redondo Beach, California, Tucson, Arizona, St. Louis, Missouri, Georgia.
For the listeners, the cars, they had to do a cross country race. That's why so many different places are in the footage here.
Right, Las Vegas. I mean, yeah, it was all over. And the filming took place between May of 1980 and June of 1980. So, a little over a month probably, roughly.
It showed.
Yeah.
My count was 36 days.
Is that what it was?
Yep.
36 days. Okay. Yeah. So, Zap, you got the cast there.
I do have a cast.
Not a bad cast,
No,
though.
this is a star-studded cast, and we were, the group of us here were talking before this.
Oh, real quick before you get into those, it was funny. Real quick, I was watching the movie and I was seeing all these stars and I was thinking that for somebody maybe our parents' age in 81, watching this would have been kind of cool because there's some some big names. You go to
absolutely.
some bigger names.
So for sure, huge names. As we had mentioned, so from the gate, we have Burt Reynolds as J.J. McClure, Dom DeLuise as Victor Prinzi, also known as Captain Chaos, and this is J.J. McClure's sidekick. Farrah Fawcett as Pamela Glover, who did not wear a bra, not once.
No.
Not once that entire movie.
Were they at a lounge in that one scene?
They for damn sure were.
Chevy.
Okay.
At
Chevy
the
Chase
hotel
show.
lounge.
Yes.
I want to talk about that when we get to that. Oh my God. I am dying. I want a lounge
I know.
so fucking bad. I want the old 60s, 70s, 70s lounges back in the worst way. Oh my God.
Actually, from Friends, who was the girl? You watch Friends a lot, Dave.
Yeah.
Phoebe? No, she never wore a bra.
Sissy.
One of the main girls?
Yes.
Jennifer Aniston?
Jennifer Aniston. They said,
Right.
I think Farrah Fawcett started that.
That trend?
Yeah, that she looked. I think that was kind of a character she based her her friend on.
That's wild. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Was her name Rachel in the
Rachel.
show?
Yes,
Rachel on the
because
show,
she
yeah.
was usually nipping or whatever. I
Constantly,
think. Yes,
yeah.
I think they did that for the show.
Okay.
But yeah, Farrah Fawcett.
I mean, it
believe,
kept Dave watching.
I
is
definitely
the-
watch.
is
Yeah.
the only thing I know from that is like the pivot.
Pivot. I love Friends.
Pivot.
My daughter's watching all of them now, actually.
cool.
So it's on every night, like the reruns.
I have never seen a complete episode of that show.
My wife watches- my
No,
wife
it's
watches
good.
it a
It's
lot.
good. I mean, I watched it
there's
back
some
then,
things.
but yeah.
It had its time. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, in addition to Burt Reynolds, Dom DeLuise, and Farrah Fawcett, we also have Roger Moore as Seymour Goldfarb Jr., Dean Martin as Jamie Blake, Sammy Davis Jr. as Morris Fenderbaum.
Candy Man.
Yeah, those guys were showing their age.
Yes.
For damn sure.
They were like
showing their
90 in
age.
this
My
movie in
God.
81.
I
And I
wondered,
think
yeah, I was going to ask you guys, what do you think were they in their 50s then or 60s by then?
60s had to be.
Yeah, at least 60s.
Really? Okay, I was wondering about that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Dean Martin.
I mean, maybe it's just, the years of booze and smoking and hard living.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Sammy Davis Jr. looked like just Skeletor. Like he looked like 90 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah.
But yeah, them guys, they say like rock stars today, but those guys live like rock stars.
Oh,
yeah,
the
they
Rat
just
Pack. Yeah.
boozed and womanized and boozed more and spent money.
Mm.
But yeah, they didn't look good.
George Firth as Arthur J. Foyt. Jackie Chan as a Japanese guy with no character name.
Yeah, I think he was mad about that. I don't know if we'll get into that in the fun
yeah.
facts.
Oh, he was definitely
Yeah,
mad.
he didn't like being a Japanese character.
Wait, give me a second. Michael High as the other Japanese guy with no character name. Now that's High is spelled Hui. Jamie Farr as Sheikh Abdul Ben Falafel.
The falafel family. Yeah.
That was Jamie Farr. That was Klinger from
that him?
From MASH. Yeah,
I was going to ask that because I was thinking that was him, and I'm like, it looks like him, but it doesn't.
Yep.
Yes, that makes
He's
sense.
not just a cross-dressing
I think
guy
yeah.
from the Korean War anymore.
I think because he had on the hood or whatever they call that. What do the Arabians call that? The sheriff.
the sheriff.
Jesus, Rock the Casbah.
Yes.
The turban.
Turban.
yeah.
Turban.
Oh God. Mel Tillis as Mel.
Original.
Terry Bradshaw as Terry.
Mm.
Adrienne Barbeau as Marcy Thatcher.
Was she one of the
yeah.
silk ladies?
Oh yeah, she was so silky. She was the red silky.
Oh, okay. There was a red and blue silky.
Purple,
Oh, purplish, yes.
which I have a fondness for saying purple silky.
yeah, that's you don't even know.
Oh my God.
Jeez.
Tara Buckman as Jill Rivers. Also, that was the purple silky. So Adrienne Barbeau was the red silky.
Red and purple, yes.
Tara Buckman was the purple silky.
But we don't know if it's quite silk,
You don't
if
even
it's
know.
satin, if
Yeah.
it's like I don't know. It's very cool. I think women should wear those more. I like them.
So
yeah.
it's a full bodysuit with the zipper, goes all the way down to the
But they usually do the zip
magical
like a
lady
little,
parts.
a little extra zip on it.
That was I want to say that was spandex,
Yeah, it was nice, whatever it was.
but it wasn't.
It wasn't.
Like it was a sheen,
Mm-hmm.
sateen, I believe.
Sateen,
Matt had
yes.
said.
Yeah, sateen. A sateen finish.
We have Valerie Perrine as a state trooper. Fun fact, that was same that woman. So if you remember from the scene, and we'll get to it.
Yes.
When the two hot chicks get pulled over, and it's a woman state trooper who also has just cleave,
Well endowed.
well endowed, just cleavage just bouncing in your face.
Actually, that was an actual. That was the actual suits that the officers had to wear in 1981.
God bless.
Because
How I
that
miss
was
the
different
80s.
times. It was different times.
You're telling me that
Women
in real
officers,
life,
yes.
they would wear that.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Are you
If that is true, man, I'm going back.
right?
I'm getting me a DeLorean and I'm
Just
going
saying,
the hell back.
times were different.
Arrest me. So that state trooper, that was Miss Tessmacher from Superman. Remember, oh God, what's his name? Lex Luthor,
Yes.
played by Gene Hackman. He had an assistant,
Oh, okay.
it
It's been a
was
while, but
Miss Tessmacher.
Oh, the girl with the short haircut?
Yes.
The dark haired.
No.
Yeah, no.
Was she? I thought she was blonde and stupid in that movie.
No, I think she had dark hair. I don't know. I have to go back and look at that one.
Either way, that chick played the state trooper in this one.
gotcha.
I would have rather done Superman
Yeah.
than Cannonball.
Easy. Too soon. Too soon. There was an appearance by Peter Fonda. He had an unnamed role.
Okay.
That's Jane Fonda's brother.
Is it?
I don't know.
I don't know anything about that. Bert Convy as Bradford Compton. Warren Berlinger as Shaky Finch.
That's a great name.
Jack Elam as Dr. Nicholas Van Helsing.
Dr. Van Helsing.
Oh, that guy was great. Yeah.
Oh, my God, yeah. Rick Avils and Alfie Wise as Mad Dog and Batman, the tow truck drivers. John Fiedler as a desk clerk. Joe Klecko as the Polish driver in the van. And Jimmy the Greek as Jimmy the Greek.
Jimmy the Greek. Yeah. Totally forgot about him until
Yeah.
I saw this movie. He was one of the first guys that I remember that got canceled. Like basically,
He got kicked off the air for
Yeah.
remarks.
Yeah, like back
He
in
was
the
a
day.
sportscaster.
yeah, like that's one of the first that I ever remember. The guy just disappeared. Like you never saw him again.
I have no idea this story. What happened to him? What did he do?
So they basically made like racial like he was a sports guy. Like he would cover sports and stuff. And he made like a racial comment.
No, he made a
Like,
comment on black athletes, and he said, black athletes are great, and he said there's now coaches that want to be coaches who are black, and he said that they're taking then there'd be nothing else for a white person to do.
Okay, yeah.
That's going way back.
So real quick, back to the ages we were talking about. I looked up real quick while you were going through the cast.
So I said 60s. That they were that Dean and Sammy were in their 60s.
So let's say they filmed this in 1980, like we said. So Dean Martin would. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I want to see how old Burt Reynolds was.
I didn't look that up. But,
Oh, okay.
Dean Martin would have been 63,
I would have said 87.
and Sammy Davis would have been
104.
55.
No.
So he was actually younger. by
There's no
8.
way he was
Jesus.
55.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
Was he
amazing.
sick? Did he die early or something? He must have been sick.
he was born in 25.
He had that
So my math's
one
not
eyeball.
not always right, but 25 to 80,
That's 55.
55. Okay, just want to make sure.
I was actually I was at a viewing the other night,
Mm.
and the gentleman whose viewing I went to, rest his soul, he was 92. I think he was born in 24.
Oh wow,
Yeah, so
That's
crazy.
a full life, man.
that's
Yeah,
crazy.
He like rode horses and stuff up to like last year. He like rode horses, and yeah, his body just broke down. It was
Wow.
like time.
Wonder
But
if he
yeah,
liked
great
this
life.
movie
Probably
because it's in his
wheelhouse there.
wheelhouse. Yeah.
Not to be confused with Millhouse.
Yeah. So was that it for the cast?
I think so. Since we were talking about the Dean Martin and
Sammy
D,
Davis.
they were actually childhood friends. Like they grew up together. Like they
Same
were,
neighborhood.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. I think I did read a fun fact about him and Dean or Jimmy the Greek actually growing up.
He was in the
together,
same neighborhood also.
too. Yeah, so
Jimmy the Greek, Dean Martin, and
What neighborhood was this?
somewhere in New York,
probably
I believe.
New York. Yeah.
Sammy.
Yeah, because Dean Martin, that's not his real last name. It's like an Italian last name. They Americanized his name. Yeah, so I don't know what his real
Yeah,
last
because
name is.
the Italians back then, they didn't trust him.
There was an anti-Italian sentiment back then.
Mm-hmm.
Gangsters.
So, Matt, you have a synopsis there for Cannonball Run.
I do, and I will try my best to, I guess, give this movie a little bit of a fun boost. Actually, the Cannonball Run, the cover is actually really cool. I do dig that. It looks a lot more fun than the movie actually is.
Right.
Here's a brief synopsis of the Cannonball Run. Burt Reynolds and director Hal Needham team up for the fourth time. Dear God.
Friend is a friend.
Fourth time. This time bringing an all-star cast of characters on a cross-country car race in the vein of a 1976 release, The Gumball Rally. The police are the least of the Cannonballers' worries as they push the pedal to the metal in a race from Connecticut to California. Reynolds stars as J.J. McClure, a speed-loving racer disguised as an ambulance driver to outsmart the police. He is paired with Dom DeLuise, who plays his dim-witted sidekick, Victor, and who on occasion dons the suit of Captain Chaos. Rat Packers Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. join the lineup as Ferrari-driving priests, while martial arts expert Jackie Chan takes one of his first U.S. films driving a souped-up Subaru. Among the many other stars are Roger Moore doing a parody of his 007 character, complete with secret devices and weapons. Farrah Fawcett as Pamela, a woman McClure and Chaos pick up, and Jamie Farr as a deranged Islamic sheik. Ladies and gentlemen, the Cannonball Run.
Nice.
No.
So when we all just met up tonight before we even, got down here and started discussing it, I think we all in unison kind of said we didn't really.
Yeah. So what did you think of this movie?
Wasn't as good as I remember.
Actually, to be honest, I did come in tonight and I said that right away when you two were there.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to you twos,
Right.
I said, what did you think of the movie? And I was like, it sucked. And you guys both agreed, and I was relieved. And I was able to continue this journey.
I too am very relieved that nobody at this table is holding this movie so close to their heart that I'm going to break it.
Right. And I think this is the first time that we all three kind of just dislike the movie. I mean, I think there's been ones where maybe one of us liked it a little more than the other. But this is off the poll on Facebook, and I think it had like 17 or 18 votes. So people like it and voted for it.
I think it was robots.
It might have been.
You had to press like the VRTS2 or whatever to make sure.
But I actually know the guy, Nutley Nick, is the guy that put it up on the poll, and
actually admitted he was the one that did it.
Yeah,
Like I didn't know somebody would do that. But.
Yeah.
Apparently he fancies the movie. Good for him.
So he doesn't know. Like I just told him, hey, could we call you and just discuss this movie? I just want to get some. So I thought maybe we'd give him a call real quick before we get into the movie.
Sure,
just
why
to
not?
find out.
Mm-hmm.
All
Get
right.
him on the horn there.
Hey, this is Nutley Nick. Who's calling?
What's up, Nutley Nick? It's
I
like
wanted to get that queued up.
Yeah, that was loud. So
As fuck.
yeah, that was his West Virginia fight music. So yeah, this movie that you put on our poll, like what are you thinking about?
Yeah, what tell us why.
What were you thinking about?
No. I want to know, like, tell us, like, we're all here just saying, like, how awesome this movie is. So we want to know.
Oh my God, it is awesome. It is
Right?
it's a star-studded cast. Unfortunately, pretty much everybody in that movie is dead.
God bless him. But no, we want to know, like we were just sitting here, like, going on, like, on how much, like, we felt so bad that we didn't have this in, like, the regular rotation of our movies.
Yeah,
So we wanted to know, like, on Nutley's scale, like, what delivers,
like a 1 to 10.
Yeah, the big bang for you. Like, why do you love this movie so much? Let the listeners know.
I enjoy Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise, the way they act together.
Amazing.
It's just a funny movie, and even the bloopers. Did you guys watch the movie?
To the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had
And you
bloopers.
saw
Bloopers at
and
the
the
end.
bloopers at the end. Oh
Mhm.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. Sammy Davis Jr. and Dean Martin.
Oh, so you're saying the best part of the movie was the end?
No.
Oh, okay, okay.
I don't have my favorite part of that movie because from beginning to end, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
When's the last time you saw it?
2-3 months ago.
Oh,
So this isn't your, like, regular rotation, huh?
Every once in a while, if
Okay, cool,
I need
cool.
a good laugh, I'll pop it in.
Oh, it is a laugh a minute.
It's a side-splitting roller coaster ride of hilarity.
Yeah, you cannot beat it.
Oh, for damn sure, it's funny.
now listen. I don't want to burst your bubble, but none of us liked it, to be honest. We all kind of came in, and when we met up, we all watched it, and we were like, "What the hell?"
You're joking.
No,
right? You're
no,
joking.
we are not at all joking. Like I was hoping these guys were gonna see it the same way because I felt kind of like, am I missing something here? But I can see where it's nostalgic and like the star power in it and stuff. But the actual movie, I didn't think it was like.
It was a tough watch.
It was
Nelly.
tough.
It was a tough watch.
Wow.
It's been a long time though since I saw it. So when I was a kid, I remember.
I was going to. So in Nick's defense, so is this a movie you came up with? Like you were watching this as a young kid, right?
I don't think he's much older than
I've
us.
seen it when I was younger. I have the Blu-ray of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are too young.
It must be maybe.
Appreciate it.
No, I mean I saw this when I was probably like 9, 10. I mean I was young when I saw it. And I remember the doctor part for some reason that like struck a memory because he was like an odd
Yeah, he's
looking
a
guy.
very weird looking dude.
And I remember the cars and stuff like.
Cross-eyed. He was cross-eyed.
But the actual movie itself was almost like they just threw scenes together. Like it was just, I don't know. It just didn't seem to like the movie.
Yeah, bits and pieces.
Right.
I mean, the premise of a car race from Jersey to California.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the lines in it just hilarious. I'm sorry, but I enjoyed it. And there was quite a few people who voted for it. They must have seen it too.
I'll agree. I will absolutely agree with Nick on that. Like there are definitely some one-liners in this that are priceless.
Oh yeah,
that shit that you can't say today.
80s slapstick comedy,
Yeah.
and it did have some of the racier type.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and it did win the poll. I mean, people voted for it, so you weren't the only one. You put it up there, but since you put it up there, I figured you must have a spot, in your rotation. But we were just curious.
Also though, in Nick's defense, I got to say this. So, how different is this movie really from Smokey and the Bandit? I mean, that's a guy racing across state lines, getting beers, right? So this is different because to the extent that there's certainly a hell of a lot more characters in it, and they're all going to the same place. I get that, but I mean, this is Burt Reynolds driving a automobile going from point A to point B.
Point B, right?
Same thing in Smokey and the Bandit. I'm saying it's like 50 feet up. It's a very, very similar concept. And with that, like I love Smokey and the Bandit. Absolutely love that movie.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
Jackie Gleason makes that movie.
Fair. I agree.
Smokey.
Absolutely.
But that might be a fun fact for Nutley that he may not have known is that it was a favor.
Yeah.
It was a what?
Burt Reynolds was in this movie as a favor to the director for being for Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah, in Cannonball Run.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes.
So you know your facts. You're a fact man.
No, I mean we can.
I'm sorry, but I love the movie. I'm sorry you guys didn't.
No apologies.
No apologies.
No.
This is actually good.
Yeah, different strokes for different folks, man.
This is actually good because this is a first. I mean, it's. I mean, we come on here and kind of gush over movies usually. Now this movie, like Zap said, you grew up with it, and it's probably has a special place to you. I haven't seen this movie since I was real young, and I mean, obviously, a lot of these movies, I'm not gonna lie, movies I loved when I was younger, I watch them now. They are cheesy, but it means something to you. Yeah. But this just seemed like the actual movie itself. There was parts that I was just like, wow, this is like.
The movie seemed very dated. For something in 81, it looked like it could have been in the early 70s.
Yeah, early to mid 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It didn't, because there's some movies we look at like 83, 84 that just seem so much more relevant. This one just seemed old.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Dated.
Yes, very dated.
But anyway.
I appreciated like all those cast members together, all the Sammy Davis, Roger Moore, Farrah Fawcett, all coming together for this. They're putting their egos aside basically, and doing this movie that. I mean, it's a dumb premise. I get it, but just the star power. Even Jimmy the Greek makes a cameo in there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, don't be discouraged. Keep putting your movies up there.
You were not the only one. It made a shit ton of money.
Oh yeah, we did the budget, and this is the biggest one yet, I think, as far as the amount it made back. If I'm not mistaken,
was it 180 something?
It was like 160.
Oh yeah.
Well, what was the like? How much did it cost to make?
Hold on, we'll get you that. We'll get you those facts here in a second.
Because I'm curious. I never looked that up. With all those big name stars, you would think it was an extravagant amount of money.
It was a $16 to $18 million budget and made $160 million. So no, it's not probably the biggest. I think the last one was like 50 times.
Yeah,
it was like $1 million. It was Breakfast Club.
It was $1 million in, and they made 51 million.
Yeah, but still, I mean, it's made good money. I mean, you're making 10 times your money. You did well, and I could see why this movie did so well. I mean, there was like an all-star cast. it's just watching it now. I was like, man, it was just kind of, but I guess not what I expected. And these guys agreed, and I just thought that. I said, well, let's call this guy and just see what he thought about. Obviously you put it up there, so, and people voted on it. So, but we're gonna review it. We're about to go through
Yeah, I wouldn't put up a movie if I didn't like it. Like I was just looking at the poll now. It's like there's like 20 some of them that I put up there.
Oh yeah, you put up a ton, so we appreciate that.
But I think we're going to have to get a button like the old dirty override or something. The old dirty veto.
Yeah. I like the old dirty override. That's
the override button now.
Yeah, we're going to have to hit the override on some of these movies that are popping up.
But I mean, it's good though to have a little negativity.
Of course.
It can't always
be. Then you might get people chiming into the old dirty mailbag and be like, you guys are crazy.
I'm sure we'll get a lot of that.
Yes.
We look forward to it.
We do. Because, I mean,
constructive criticism.
If people are yelling at the radios, that's good. Like, we want you to disagree sometimes. And, I get a lot of feedback like that. So
I'm constantly yelling at the damn my computer when I'm listening.
I know. I hear about it.
There's 4 turnpike tunnels between here and Pittsburgh.
We're aware.
Not 5.
Not 5. You're right.
And JW said there is a tunnel, the Fort Pitt Tunnel. It's in Pittsburgh. It's not on the turnpike.
Right. Well, you guys can figure that out in court someday.
Yeah, there's other ways to get to West Virginia there, Nutley. You don't have to go the turnpike there.
Oh, I don't. I go 81 to 68 all the way across. It's quicker.
Yep, that's a good route.
All right, Nutley, we're going to get into this movie. So keep those movies going on that poll. Keep putting them up there, and, we'll keep reviewing them.
Yeah, thanks so much, Nick.
Thanks, Nutley. Go Mountaineers.
All right, later, Nutley.
And all you guys have a great New Year's.
All right,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Later.
Take it easy.
All right. So, Zap, you got the walkthrough kind of on the movie, I guess?
I mean, there's not really much to walk through in this.
Right.
Sure. I think a great way to start with this for anybody who hasn't watched this movie or has on purpose forgotten this movie, as we went through the cast, it's probably good to know who the cast is with respect to their purpose in this movie, which is really, again, this cannonball race.
Mm-hmm.
So you got these teams, right? So let's say team number 1 is J.J. McClure and Victor Prinzi. They drive a Dodge Tradesman ambulance, which was actually fitted with a NASCAR engine.
Yeah, they did the ambulance. They thought that would be a good way to get cross country very quickly.
Yep.
Right.
So
yep.
Woo, woo.
Absolutely. They get to blow through lights. They get to go as fast as they want because who's going to suspect? No one ever suspects the ambulance.
Right.
I got a quick question for you guys. Wow, Dom DeLuise, what else did he do?
Fatso.
Yeah, I mean, I know he was iconic in the 70s and 80s, but I'm trying to think like
he was just that guy that was always around.
Yeah.
Like he would be the guy that showed up at the roasts, and he would be the guy that was
okay.
At Phyllis Diller's parties, or he hung out maybe from time to time with the Rat Pack as they were aging.
Yeah, I knew he was with kind of with those guys, but I mean I don't know. I God bless him.
God bless him. You have in the next team you have Jamie Blake and Morris Fenderbaum. They drive a red Ferrari 308 GTS. A 1979
Yes,
model.
that was very nice.
Their shtick was to, for whatever reason, dress as priests.
Yeah, that was because nobody. If you pulled a priest over, you have to let him go.
Yeah, who's going to arrest a priest?
God bless him.
You had the ever so sexy Marcy Thatcher and Jill Rivers, who drove a black Lamborghini Countach.
Yeah, that Lambo was that was the beginning scene too.
Yeah,
right.
Yep, they were the first ones to be seen. Yep.
And I did like the scene. They go down and there's a speed limit sign for 55, and they gave the old the Sammy Hagar, I can't drive 55.
Yep. Yeah. I didn't understand. So it's one thing to put a red X through it. It's another thing to, at the end of that X, she kept circling it like it was a period at the bottom.
A big dot on it. I didn't get that either.
Yeah, was that like a bell end or something?
Not sure.
Anyway, so as we had clearly mentioned, these two use their sex appeal as their means to get out. So if they were to get pulled over, which did happen,
times never change.
They just unzip that bodysuit of their bodysuits and say, "What did I do wrong?" Next thing you know, they're back to driving again. You had the two who were driving a Subaru GL 4-wheel drive hatchback, which had a rocket booster engine in the back of it.
Yes, it was very cool. Yeah. But they were not, the thing with that is Jackie Chan and the other gentlemen weren't Japanese.
They're not Japanese.
No, they were Chinese.
Chinese. They are, in fact, Chinese.
Right.
I mean, you want to talk about, this is, I mean, the stereotyping hilarity of the 80s where, okay, I don't know if you're Korean or Vietnamese or Chinese or Japanese or Dirty-nese, but for this movie, you're going to be Japanese.
Japanese, yeah.
But they never told him that, is what I think he was upset about.
He was upset. Well, he should have. Well, I guess he didn't.
No, he didn't know. They just said you're.
Well, in the game show part, in the beginning,
yeah.
how did he not know he was on like the Tonight Show
That's
in
true.
Japanese? Like,
Now, what's even more interesting is that during the movie, they don't speak a lick of English.
no.
Are they speaking Chinese or are they speaking Japanese?
I don't know. Yeah, it'd be
Probably
good-
Chinese, because I don't think they spoke Japanese, because
Right.
they're Chinese.
Possible.
Unless he knew 2 languages.
But stupid
Maybe 3.
Americans watching this movie and seeing subtitles don't know Chinese from Japanese,
No.
from Mandarin, from you name it.
Mhm.
Chinese, Japanese.
Dirty knees.
Look at these.
So, in addition to that rocket booster, the Subaru, again, it's just this huge computerized
But what
thing on
what
4 wheels.
What was it? A Subaru what?
Subaru GL
GL.
4-wheel drive
I
hatchback.
wonder how much those run today.
Like an authentic one from
Yeah.
back then? I
I
don't
don't
know.
Because I know, like,
Probably not much.
Yeah.
No, I think they had a pretty cool motor in them.
Really?
It was that little black one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one had not just an engine; it had a rocket booster engine in the back of it. But yeah, so as we're going through here, each one of these has their own little, A-teamed, tweaked automobile or their own little shtick to hopefully get them to win this race.
Right.
Next up, we have Mel and Terry, who are driving a street legal replica of a Hawaiian Tropic sponsored NASCAR Winston Cup Series Chevrolet stock car.
And that was Terry Bradshaw.
It
Yeah,
was, in
Terry
fact.
Bradshaw. Yeah.
When I say Terry, that is in fact
Mm-hmm.
Terry, played by Terry Bradshaw,
Super Bowl champ at the time.
and Mel Tillis as Mel. That's right. He was Super Bowl champ at the time. That's right.
Yeah, I think they won in the 70s for sure. And then I don't know about 81 or 80, who would have won in 80. I think the Steelers might have won in 80, actually.
I don't have.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
can't finger box right now, but
I'll
I'm
finger box.
sure I
Let me
could
check
figure
that.
it out. So Seymour Goldfarb Seymour Goldfarb Jr. drove a silver Aston Martin DB5. I'm going to say that again because that was all fucked up.
That's right.
Seymour Goldfarb Jr. Drove a silver Aston Martin DB5. And, of course, Seymour Goldfarb was played by Roger Moore. And
who thought he was Roger Moore?
who thought he was Roger Moore. What a great character.
That
I'm
was
Seymour,
good.
but I think
I
I'm-
enjoyed that.
I think I'm Roger Moore. So his special shtick was to have this James Bond tweaked out with these James Bond gadgets mobile. Like, it's just this things with like oil slicks and smoke screens and switchable license plates. And
So real quick, back to that. So the Steelers won in 1979, 1980, but then after filming this movie, they lost. They didn't lose, but they weren't in the Super Bowl the next year. It was
That's what-
Oakland one. So it's probably because he did this movie. They probably fell off.
must be. This is what happens when you do a shitty movie.
Your career goes downhill after that.
Absolutely.
So,
Hey, that oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, man. I'm good.
No, the that Junkyard Gem. It came up in 1981 Subaru GL 4-wheel drive. They went 7,000 for it. It's completely stripped, but it's all
down to nothing.
Yeah, it's all
Original.
parts.
Hmm.
So 7,000 for that piece of crap. So
Pass
it must have been.
that on to Nutley.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He might want one.
we could soup it up.
Yeah, right.
We have so then you have Sheikh Abdul Ben Falafel, who drove a white Rolls Royce Silver Shadow,
Nice car. Expensive.
and that was just him. Like, he didn't have a shtick. He was just
Chief Falafel.
Yeah.
He was just a guy, I guess, who could get gas for free or something. 'Cause I don't know.
Was he going to buy California too at one point?
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
I think in Cannonball Run 2, which I looked at for a little bit.
Oh, you watched it?
He was featured.
Yeah, he was featured in that one.
Actually, fun fact: he's the only one to be included in all 3 movies.
Oh, really?
There's a third?
Yes.
Oh,
Wow.
I didn't know that. I just thought there was a second one. But the next one and the second one, it's a race for $1 million by Chief Falafel. And his father is Ricardo Montalban.
Ooh.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that. I don't
Mexican
even remember that they
dude.
had sequels of it, or like a sequel and a third one of that.
I didn't know there was a third. I just thought there was a second. Continue.
Oh, happily.
Yes.
And then finally we have Compton and Finch. So they ride a motorcycle, and they're because of what's his name's weight.
So
Because
heavy.
of Finch's weight, they're in a constant
Yeah,
wheelie
that's how they're driving the whole time. They're like going
the
the
whole time. They had disguised themselves as a newlywed as newlyweds, as a newlywed couple. But again, Finch is the fat guy who just forces this motorcycle to sit back so far that they just ride in a continuous wheelie.
Right.
So now I guess with all of that in mind, now that we know who the players are and what's going on and what they can do in their special superpowers or their special superpowered cars, this whole thing is about the Cannonball race. It's everybody gathers in Connecticut to start a cross-country race to make their way to California. One at a time, all these teams drive up to the starter stand. They punch a time card, and off they go.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want to pin that for a moment. Time card. We'll come back to it.
Okay.
We'll get there at the end, as chance would have it. So, I mean, what do we talk about here? You know, you got the observers. You've got who's watching this stuff. We are introduced to the antagonist, the bad guy,
the environmental guy.
The environmental guy, Arthur Foyt, who's the representative of the Safety Enforcement Unit, who wants to stop the race because, like you had said, it's environmental effects and safety issues. But
driving fast, lots of gas.
that's right. This is where we meet his lovely assistant, Pamela Glover.
Farrah Fawcett.
Yeah, hippie, tree hugger, etc. Actually, tree lover.
Right.
She actually states multiple. I love trees.
Which, Burt Reynolds' character JJ he falls head over heels right away.
At the
of
lounge.
course.
Yes,
At the lounge.
At the lounge.
He loves the ladies, and all
At
the
the
ladies
lounge.
love Burt Reynolds.
He was the man, like back then for sure.
But
in the early 80s.
Oh, we didn't know how old he was during this one. We didn't look that up.
I'll look it up.
Because he did. He looked older. He didn't look like.
My guess is going to say 35,
Wow.
but he might even be younger than that.
In
I
this
think in
movie?
our minds sometimes we think these people are older.
You're right. I'm just curious because he didn't look young. Mustache is fantastic though. I think we should all grow
well,
up.
that was something that I wanted to touch on. So he was born in 36. So
44.
Mhm.
Was this 80? Is this what?
81.
yeah, 44. Jeez, he was older than I even thought. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. But he looked.
He
didn't
still
look
had
our
it
age.
together. He still
Yeah.
had
Oh,
it
yeah.
together.
Yeah, he was fit
Yes.
for 44.
I would have thought younger, but yeah, 44 then.
Okay.
So again, I mean, really, this movie is about a race. I mean, the primary rivalry is between the ambulance pair, Burt Reynolds and
DeLuise.
Dom DeLuise, and the Ferrari.
Right.
And, it's amazing.
The priest.
Yeah,
That's right, the priests.
which is Sammy Davis and Dean Martin.
Yep. I mean, as we go through this, as one watches this movie, there are certainly everything's a cutscene from car to car.
That's what I was kind of saying. It's just almost like they just threw a bunch of footage together. And I think I read that outside of Burt Reynolds, most of these people were only on set for like a day or two.
Yep.
Like, yeah. So it just seemed like it was thrown together. I mean, I get it. It's an iconic movie and the star power is off the charts.
Is it
and all
iconic though? Is it talked about like forever?
I mean, I think when you think about Burt Reynolds, like it comes to mind Cannonball Run and Smokey and the Bandit.
Smokey and the Bandit, I think would come
same-
up. I don't know. Cannonball, like you said, we had some voters. We had a lot of people that wanted to hear about it.
I guess. And are we doing it a disservice by blowing it off like this?
I mean, we can go through it. You can go through the movie.
What is to go through?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much
it's a
of a plot
race.
line.
It's a bunch of cutscenes. And
There's some funny slapstick comedy. Is that how you say it? Slap.
There's not-
slap.
Like, I get what you're saying, Zap. There's not much of a storyline. It's a
Right.
race.
Yeah.
Like, you can go over, like, we can talk about our favorite parts.
Sure.
Like, I'll touch on one thing I wanted to hit on because of locally here and also because of the podcast. So that safety environmental agency that guy worked for. Do you remember the scene where he was on a phone call to his boss? He was at they were at the lounge,
Oh,
at the
yeah.
hotel.
Yep.
And he calls his boss and he's like, "Hey, there's a race going on. We can get all these guys, get all these people. This will be a big coup or whatever he says." And he says, "This will be like the biggest thing since TMI or the Love Canal."
Yeah.
So Love Canal is a thing that we covered earlier in the podcast. That was a tragedy up in Buffalo or Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls,
That
New
we
York.
had a guy on, and we did. And then TMI obviously is locally here.
Love Canal.
Love Canal was it was a story we did early on. We had the Juice Man came on.
Yeah,
He's
I grew
from
up,
that area.
I grew up 30 minutes, not even 20 minutes from TMI.
From TMI, obviously. And in Love Canal, they were dumping toxic chemicals, and it capped it and built a school on top of it.
Built a school on top, and then people were dying of cancer, growing extra limbs.
I thought the Love Canal was what they called Adrienne Barbeau's magical lady parts in this movie.
It might have been that, too.
Could be.
Which one was Barbeau?
The brunette. The one in the red.
In the Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
Lambo.
Gotcha.
Not the one in the purple
No.
who had more of the the feathered hair,
She had the
dirty blonde hair.
Yeah.
Dirty blonde.
A lot of cleavage in this movie,
Lot of
for
cleavage.
sure.
So, all right. So let's see.
Well, no,
Cutscene,
there's a race.
cutscene during a race. Cutscene.
A little bit of hilarity, some funny one-liners.
I mean, eventually,
Boobies.
there's some boobies. Eventually, everybody finds themselves stopped in the desert, waiting for construction workers to clear the road. When out of nowhere, a biker gang arrives and is harassing the two, newlyweds, the guys that were doing the wheelie the whole way through. All of a sudden, there's this big fight.
Was this Roger Moore's fight scene where he tries to act like he's
Correct.
and he just gets his ass whooped with one punch?
And Captain Chaos, aka Dom DeLuise, he shows up to fight. He crashes a front porch down or a front porch roof on these guys. This was, I think, as Matt had read in the synopsis, this was one of Jackie Chan's first
Movies.
Fight movies, like where he was able to showcase his martial art prowess.
Right.
They show up, he starts fighting, kicking, Bruce Lee-ing it all over the place.
Would he be Bruce Lee-ing it or Jackie Channing it?
Oh. I guess which came first, Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan?
I definitely would have not known who Jackie Chan was back when I saw this. Back when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like he didn't really come to prominence till the 90s or maybe even late 90s.
We had one
at least in America.
He was huge where
tremendous.
He was in China.
Over in China.
Right.
Well, he did that drunk. What was it? The drunk
I don't
kung
know.
fu master. He played like the drunk guy, and that's what I think.
The Drunken
Well,
Master.
he was in
The
those
Drunken Master. Correct.
the
yes.
Chris Tucker movies and all that. And
Rush
then
Hour.
Yeah, that type stuff.
Which are hilarious, by
Yes,
the way.
very good.
Chris Tucker kills it.
Were those 90s movies? 90s, right?
I think.
Late 90s, early 2000s.
Oh, okay.
So everybody's fighting, blah, blah, blah. And in the meantime, while they're all fighting, the construction crew announces, hey, man, road's open.
Cannonball.
You can go back to your driving.
Mm-hmm.
So now, at this point, all teams, what are you
He's singing that song.
Oh,
The beginning song, like, Cannonball. Ball.
Yeah.
it's so bad. So bad. I'm sorry. I apologize. I tried to push that song out of my mind.
Was there even a soundtrack that, like, any sort of, just like that really cheesy race music sounds? And
I mean, the cars were cool. And the actor, the people that are in it, but
we can get some fun facts after we do some Zap facts on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, all right. So the construction's over. Everybody's now, despite where they might have been at any one point, they've all converged into this one spot, and they're all ready to get the hell to the finish line and end this goddamn movie.
right.
So they're racing and racing and racing. They make their way to the finish line, which is on a pier in wherever the hell it is, California. Captain Chaos. I'm sorry. So everybody's cars end up having stopped. Like there's somebody pulls out and stops all the cars, or one big car stops. The guys in a pickup truck actually, they do a little slide, and it stops everybody from going any further. So everybody gets out of their cars to now run to the finish line.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Chaos is almost there. Almost there. Oh my gosh, Dom DeLuise is going to win this race.
The cape's flying away
Until some broad on the pier says, I lost my child, my kid is fell over. My kid fell in the water.
which happens all the time.
Quick question though. So those time cars they were punching, and maybe that's what you're going to get to.
Yep.
So didn't it go by even though they all arrived there at the same time, who was the first to depart, like on the race? Because even though he would have punched his car, they left after. You know what I'm trying to say?
I know what you're trying to say, and that's the goof I was going to get to.
Okay.
But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine because it is not without its coincidence that as Dom DeLuise goes to save this stupid dog, because this dog was stupid.
Right.
So many other dogs are so cute and lovable, and one of these days I am getting a goddamn dog. The one chick ends up winning. The one hot chick, the one I fancy, Adrienne Barbeau.
The Lamborghini, yes.
One of the two Lamborghini chicks ends up winning by punching her time card.
Mm-hmm.
So party, race is over. Everybody's happy. Movie ends. But now back to that point.
Right.
The punch card.
If it's based on the time, if you punch in 5 minutes after the guy ahead of you, and the next person after you punched in 5 minutes later and stuff like that. If Dom DeLuise, or I should say, if anyone else besides the Lamborghini broad would have punched their time card in less time than it was from the to the time that they had departed, they would have won.
Right.
Because it's a timed thing.
Right.
So
Yeah, no matter when you start.
I see what you're saying. They left first. Somebody would have left after the ambulance.
so if the Lamborghini left first,
Right.
if 5 minutes later, I don't give a shit who left. If that person, that second person, would have punched their card less than 5 minutes
I got you. Yes.
after that Lamborghini chick punched her card, they would have won.
They're
That
not-
second person would have won.
Right.
Time trial.
They're not all starting at the same time.
right.
Okay. Yep.
And it's even easier for the third person because let's say that's 10 minutes behind.
Right.
Or the fourth team would have been 15 minutes behind.
Mm-hmm.
If they're all there together, if anyone besides the Lamborghini person would have punched, they would have won.
They
They're not
would've
any
won.
time behind. They all started at the same time.
No, they didn't.
No.
No, like I'm saying, but they're not any time behind. Like once you start, it's a timed race.
Yes.
Right.
So no matter when you finish,
Yes,
if
yes.
you finish faster than the other cars that left,
Mm-hmm.
you would win.
Right.
Yep. Anyway, that is I don't know, some kind of geographical time-space anomaly that just doesn't make sense. Like, why did somebody else punch their card?
And
What?
ladies and gentlemen, that is the Cannonball Run.
Thank you all for
All
listening
right.
to our podcast.
Good night.
Right.
We love you.
That was great.
That answers in there with what the gremlins, like when can you feed them and all that. It's the same type stuff. Like when does that time end? And there's just, I guess you got to.
Yeah, that's right. When they say you can't feed him after midnight, well, who's midnight?
Right.
Is it China's midnight? Because that's where I'm sorry, actually, he came from
Chinatown.
Chinatown,
Right.
which is for sure America. But I don't know, man.
What are you saying? Is that where Jackie Chan came from?
No, no.
Yes.
the
Oh, okay.
Gremlins.
Yeah.
We're off on a tangent.
Yes. Oh, fun facts then, guys. People enjoy those. This is a good fun fact movie.
So,
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. Oh, shit.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. I messed up. There is a denouement to this.
Oh,
So at the so let's pretend the race is over. Lamborghini chick punches a card. Apparently, everybody else doesn't give a shit about punching time cards. So the movie ends. And now they're all partying and blah blah blah. They're now making amends with trying to make amends with the environmental guy that that he keeps complaining about that you're ruining the atmosphere and shit like that. The James Bond guy, Roger Moore, offers a cigar, gives the guy a cigar, and tells him to finally use the lighter in his car.
yes.
Because the James Bond character, Roger Moore's character, whoever he had in his car, he had different chicks in his car like all of the time.
whole time,
He was
yeah.
consistently picking up different chicks,
Right.
and they all smoked, and they also wanted to go use the lighter in his, what they had thought was the lighter in his car. And they would go attempt to push a button. He would stop them. Like,
do
don't
that.
push that goddamn button. So finally, he tells this dude to use the lighter, and he goes flying out of the seat.
Right.
So he gets his comeuppance, and
So-
that's the end of the movie.
So, but on that scene, the guy went in and was smoking, right? And he's like, "Did you use the lighter in here?" But doesn't Roger Moore get ejected? or-
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
That's right. So when the guy gets his comeuppance,
Mm-hmm.
it's this Roger Moore character that the whole time he's like, "Oh, I'm James Bond. Don't use the buttons. Don't use the buttons."
Right.
But when he offers to someone else to finally use the button, his seat is the one that gets ejected out.
Yes.
Out
It
to the
backfires on him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say because it was like the special effects aren't that great, obviously, so
No,
you couldn't
but-
really see. It was just like a
Dude,
mannequin flying in the air.
there were some good stunt scenes.
There were
with
good-
the cop cars. And
I
such.
agree, but there were so many goofs in this where you could see boom mics, you could see cables that were used to try to pull these cars magically
Was
across
that
the road.
done on purpose? Do you think because
No,
of the
it's because
cheesiness
it
of
was
the?
because of the low budget movie.
But they
Right.
made so much money.
Well, so now, okay, I'm ready to go to fun fact land.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, let's dive in.
I do want to start with one particular item you had mentioned, Dave, with respect to the budget. So the budget was what, 14?
16 to 18.
16 to 18. So of that 16 to 18, 5 million of that went to Burt Reynolds.
Reynolds, yes.
He sucked up 5 million of this for 4 weeks of work.
It's crazy.
Doing this movie made him the highest paid actor at that time.
And
Highest
that's
paid
in
actor, yeah.
1980.
Yeah.
And I
So
have
you figure that's.
oh, go
jeez.
ahead.
No, you just figure that much money back then, you know.
something to a quote from Burt Reynolds from what Sap just said there. He said, "I did that film for all the wrong reasons. I never liked it. I did it to help a friend of mine, Al Needham. And I also felt it was immoral to turn down that kind of money. I suppose I sold out, so I couldn't really object to what people wrote about me."
Yeah.
So he admitted, he was like, he couldn't pass that up.
I'm
He's
not
like, "What am I,
walking
an
away from
idiot?"
$5 million.
In 1981.
Huge, tremendous.
Like you said, filmed in 36 days.
And like you said, most of the people in this movie only worked for 2 or 3 days.
A lot of these cars, like, belong to, they were, I'm going to say donated, but the cars were, like, obviously owned by people that were involved.
the Ferrari, the 308 that was used was the director's car.
Mm.
The actual Aston Martin that the Roger Moore character, it was the same one used in the Goldfinger
I did hear
that
that.
Sean Connery
Ooh.
drove. Yeah, so it was actually the same
Nice.
car. Yeah.
About the Aston Martin. In the one scene, Seymour is forced to drive the Aston Martin blindly, weave through traffic, and a smoke screen falls out of it. This is a fact that says the second take on the higher version resulted in a crash with a van, and the stunt woman, Heidi Von Beltz, was in the passenger seat and was left a paraplegic for the rest of her life.
Yeah, I saw that she was critically injured, but they didn't say.
Yeah.
So that's what it was,
Yes,
and she was
left.
paralyzed.
Yep.
Wow.
Joe Biden was a senator at the time.
Delaware.
Of the United States of America.
Wait, where was he?
Out of Delaware.
Delaware.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Joe Biden.
It was his fault.
He crippled that woman. Did anybody? So just again, goofs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't necessarily a goof per se, but so pretend I'm a kid. Hell, that's just at the time or even now
Mm-hmm.
when I see that Lamborghini Countach, that's an amazing fucking car.
It's a nice car. Yeah.
Did anyone notice on the driver's side, there's the phone?
No, I didn't notice that.
So think of like an office, or not even an office, maybe an office phone or a digital phone or whatever.
A lot of buttons on it and stuff.
Yeah, so maybe the phone would be, let's say, 12 by 10 or
Mhm.
14 by 10,
Right.
this rectangle on the wall, and the receiver is there. That was the phone that's sitting inside this car. It's like a wall phone.
No shit.
It's huge. It's fucking huge. In a
a cellular phone.
But
back
that
then.
was made
that's
up.
correct.
Yeah.
There was no, there was, but it had to have been like $1 million in order
man,
to have a
you're
cellular phone.
you're paying a lot back then. But yeah, just if you should ever have the fortune to see this movie again,
Oh yeah.
pay attention and look at the phone on the driver's side of the Lambo. It's this huge, what would otherwise be considered an office-sized
Yeah.
phone.
I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about. One other thing with that Lamborghini had a front spoiler.
Noted.
Yeah,
That's on
wild.
the Countach. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were made like that.
They
It was
keep-
so
they
it
keep
keep
'em-
it so down to the ground.
Right.
Because they went like 155, 160 mile an hour.
Well, so that was a mid or rear-engined car. So there was no weight in the front
no,
there.
that's
Right,
what
to
had
keep it down.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Tom Selleck, everybody knows who he is, correct?
Oh yeah.
Kind of looks
Another
like
legendary stash.
kind of looks a little bit like the main character, JJ, whatever his name is, Cannonball.
Right.
He actually turned down this role.
To play the Burt Reynolds.
He was offered Burt Reynolds' character, and it said it interfered with Magnum PI.
Oh.
That's awesome. Speaking of that, that's after Steve McQueen was actually originally cast to be in this, but he died
He had
Yeah, what year-
cancer.
after he accepted it.
No, I thought McQueen died in like a car wreck. Steve McQueen.
I thought he died of cancer.
No,
Oh,
he
did
died
he?
of cancer. Yes.
Oh.
He had the bad
said,
cancers.
The film was originally I can't speak. The film was originally a serious action film starring Steve McQueen.
Oh,
But
okay.
McQueen turned it down because he was dying from
I'm
stomach
thinking
cancer.
of James
Stomach, there you
Dean.
go.
I'm thinking of James Dean. I'm sorry.
That's a car accident.
That was the guy.
Okay, that was back in like the 60s.
Yeah,
wasn't
I
it?
know, but I don't
He
know. what
died
my
right
head
after
was.
La Bamba.
Yeah. Wow.
So here's one that remember the arcade game Outrun?
Yes.
Yeah,
That was a cool game.
yeah, that was based on the movie, I guess.
Inspired by the movie.
Yeah, inspired, yes, inspired.
Did you guys
I played the shit out of that game.
Oh, I love
I'll
that
still,
game.
Yeah, I'll still play that one. That's a good one.
did you guys see Rat Race? It's actually based kind of like on the same premise, but it's a pretty cool movie.
Yeah, but so it's Rat Race. There's another one that's
Compared to this crap.
Yeah.
this older than this was one of my. So I like it because I remember watching it as a kid, but it's the same goddamn thing. It's called "It's a Mad, 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 Mad World."
Oh, okay, yeah.
All equally star-studded, but with people from the mid to late '60s. So who was the like big players then were in that?
It's about a car race.
It's about a bunch of different groups of people who are racing to find a buried treasure out. Like they get hold of basically like a map, or they hear that this treasure is there. And when word travels quickly amongst these varying groups who don't know shit about each other, but somehow, some way they all find out about this treasure. So they're all driving to get to this place to dig up and find this treasure. I mean, I enjoyed it, but it is the same
Concept.
exact concept as this.
How many Mads are in that? So when I look it up, Mad.
I think there's 4 Mads.
Okay.
Mad.
I didn't want to get it wrong when I tried to look it up.
I think once you get to the third, it's going to fill in the
I
blank
wanted to
for
make
you.
sure it was the right movie.
That one for me is worth a watch. But at the same time, look, you got Nutley Nick who could say, Zap, you're out of your mind.
Right.
That movie sucked. Cannonball Run will make
way
that
better,
makes
yeah.
that movie look like a peanut.
It's all, yeah, you're right. Like, this are all just opinions. Like, for some
Mhm.
people, this is the greatest movie ever. For us, we just, all three of us just happen to be like, it was kind of corny. But there was cool parts of it. I would say that I'm glad I watched it.
Yeah,
It's just I'm
you can
not
say you
like
watched it.
rushing back to watch it again, or anything like that.
Roger Moore was asked to do a sequel when they had Cannonball Run 2, and he quickly declined, said the joke's pretty much up. Like, I can't.
You can't do
I don't
it
know
anymore.
what more you want me to do. And he heard that Frank Sinatra was going to be in the sequel, and he quickly replied with regrets. I had a few.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fantastic. So was
Sinatra in it.
was Old Blue Eyes in Cannonball too?
Yes, he was.
Oh, okay.
So it was him, Dean Martin, and Sammy.
Fun fact, Shallow Throat, our announcer, huge Frank Sinatra fan. License
That's all he
plate is
did, yeah.
actually a Frank Sinatra reference. Loves the guy.
What's the
Yeah.
license plate?
Old Blue Eyes.
How do you put that many letters on the license plate?
Old, like old, dirty.
Yeah.
OL,
And then I think it's like,
BOU.
yeah, I'm not sure. I know it's spelled out
ES.
on there. Yeah, he has it on his license plate. Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Old Blue Eyes is my favorite person
Yeah.
in the world. It is on my
So
list.
if you
I
see
love
that,
brand new carpet.
if you see that license plate, do not harass the guy for autographs. Just let him on his way.
Will do.
So this actually was based on a real life race. You guys know that, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The real life race is.
So isn't Cannonball?
Go ahead. Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry, no. Cannonball Baker Sea to Shining Sea Memorial Trophy Dash.
That's correct.
And the
Which
funny
is
part,
highly illegal. It's an illegal race.
and fun fact on that, a trophy dash. The funny part about that is a trophy dash was usually only like 5 laps. And then when they say about a trophy dash,
Yeah.
the race would be like 5 laps or less.
Interesting.
And this is like a super,
Thousands of miles.
3,000-mile race
Yeah.
or whatever it was. So
We should start that in our neighborhood. We should do that on like May 1st.
like a Cannonball
Yeah,
Run.
we should do the with bikes.
Just have
All
a
the
Mario,
adults.
just Mario karting around your.
That'd be awesome.
All the
yeah.
adults should gather at the front of the neighborhood with our bikes, and then we
And we
have to see who the fastest is.
And we should all grow mustaches.
Yes.
That's one thing I put down as a thing in the beginning was like we talked about the mustaches, like Bert, Dom, and Sammy Jr. They all had the mustaches.
Yep.
So that was like definitely an '80s thing. You know,
We should get all our wives and girlfriends all should have the
The
like
jumpsuits.
a fake mustache and the jumpsuits.
jumpsuits. Make them wear the
the,
jumpsuits.
the satinis.
But
That'd be fantastic.
yeah. But no, that was based on a real race, and there was something with that. I was reading up a little bit on it. With that Cannonball, the original Cannonball Run, because when they changed the restrictions on engines and all that, muscle car era kind of ended, and kind of like that guy was in the movie, in the Cannonball Run movie, was the environmental guy because of the impact of the environment and all that. A lot of those muscle cars, they like, for instance, they were comparing a Mustang from like 1970 to the 1975 model, how many horsepower it lost,
Yeah.
and everything else like that. So I forget if it was something where this race was kind of in response to that, like we're still gonna have fun with our cars.
Oh,
and
it's like
that.
fuck you,
Yeah.
environmental people.
That's
We're
what the
going to do this
environment-
race. Yeah.
Right.
It was very nostalgic to see some of the gas stations in this movie. They offered both leaded and unleaded gasoline.
Oh, leaded gas.
Oh yeah.
So
It was like a Phillips
Enlighten me on-
76 or whatever those stations
So
were.
your mechanic buddies are going to pop in on this one.
I know that. Yeah.
So
I got to get them on this.
I'm just going to leave it at one point for the very longest time,
Mm-hmm.
engines were running on leaded gasoline.
Okay.
That is, to be clear, by default, it was leaded. There
And
was
they- it
lead
get-
in there.
And it's unleaded is a
To
process
this-
they. Okay,
That's
I
right.
Gotcha, I
So
gotcha.
they later removed lead, and it's now, and this day you can only buy unleaded. If
Okay.
you're just buying just your regular gas
Mhm.
versus diesel or that corn shit,
right, ethanol,
ethanol,
ethanol. Yeah.
whatever, ethan,
Yeah.
potato. Yeah. So yeah, in fact, you can get one can purchase at their local AutoZone, Pep Boys, whatever. You can buy little cans of a lead additive
If you want it leaded.
if you wanted to lead up your engine.
Yeah, I got to find out like what the benefit, like not what the benefit of one or the other, like why they changed it or why.
I remember my first car, it was recommended to me at some point. Again, this is a 68 Pontiac. It was recommended to me that I put a lead additive into that gasoline for whatever reason. I can't remember.
It's probably something with the engine block or something.
I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
the way I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah.
The
Like I
header.
said, we got 2 resident mechanics that are like
It
big time
says-
listeners. So I don't know.
I found it on the interweb.
Mm-hmm.
It will reduce engine knock, and a lead additive is a gasoline additive that helps prevent engine knock by reducing air fuel mixture detonation.
Well, much like
preventing ignition delay.
they tell you not to Google WebMD, for like health stuff.
Yep.
I should probably hear from the mechanic.
I'm gonna
You know
I'm
what I
gonna
mean?
trust the source. I don't know if I can trust them internets.
Right. Because they might have another, you know what I mean?
Look,
you ever
man.
have a doctor tell you that? Don't go on the internet.
Of
It's the
course.
worst thing you can do.
Oh my God. I tell people that shit all the
It's because
time.
they want you to pay them more money.
Is that why?
Yeah, you have everything at your fingertips here.
I
You
worry
don't
about.
even need a doctor.
I am the belief that WebMD stuff is just going to make a hypochondriac out of
Oh
somebody.
my
Yeah.
God.
You're going
For
to worry.
sure.
You're going to worry yourself into cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're going to worry yourself to death.
Yep.
Yes.
It's never good, but much like this movie. No, I'm just kidding.
Very good. Very
Too
good.
soon.
No,
Too soon.
I'm kidding. No, actually, you know what?
Love you, Nutley.
No, I know. It wasn't a horrible movie. I just didn't. I wouldn't say that I totally enjoyed it. Like
I'm not
watching
going to vote for it in a poll.
No,
No.
watching Breakfast Club, I still enjoyed it.
Sure.
But there again, that's it's not that far years removed from this, but
Right.
it just felt different.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm surprised we had like the Breakfast Club and all of them. Nobody did some kind of wonderful.
I mean,
That strikes me as
it could
odd.
always be
It
added.
could always be added.
I get a little teary at the end of that. I do. Like there's just this rush of, oh, that's so
well, he like
awesome at the end when him and that chick come together.
Mhm.
Finally,
the drummer girl.
yeah.
Is that
And
John
he-
Cryer, some kind of one?
No,
No.
it's the other redheaded dude.
Oh, Eric Stoltz.
Eric Stoltz,
Yes,
the
yes,
original
some
Marty McFly,
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
And the other girl who was in all kinds of like 80s movies and
who played
the Richie girl.
what's his name's mother, Marty
Marty
McFly's mother,
McFly's mom.
Oh yeah.
Leah Thompson.
Leah Thompson.
Very
yes,
good, very
yes,
good.
yes.
And I don't know who the blonde lady was. The blonde girl, the drummer girl.
Mm.
But no, that's if anybody wants to put that one out
I
there.
think for us, like our sweet spot because of our ages is probably that mid '80s.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But
Sure.
there's definitely early '80s movies that I still enjoy.
And
Like we talked
Cannonball
about
Run's not one of
Caddyshack,
them.
or
Yep.
that which was 1980, right?
Yep.
And there's movies like that. This one just for me wasn't the greatest, but I mean I'm glad I watched it. I'm glad Nutley put it up there, and obviously people like it. So we're not trying to kill the movie.
Mm-mm.
It definitely had its good parts, I guess. And please continue to put movies up there and continue to add to that poll.
And please tell us we're wrong.
Yes.
Tell us
Yes.
we're wrong. You know,
Yeah.
look, we're not in any way, shape, or form saying we know everything and
Mhm.
everything we say is right.
All right.
Enjoy the movie.
You guys got any fun facts we missed or anything?
No, I think we've hit all the fun facts on this one.
I got a fun one. Like we talked about cast members usually. There was only one cast member. Well, the other one you mentioned I did not know about for
Okay.
the Tom Selleck.
Mm-hmm.
But Don Rickles was originally going to be Fenderbaum, which was the Sammy Davis Jr. part.
Huh.
So I don't know if that would have changed anything with Dean Martin or But I guess they were all.
Yeah, they all roll.
I mean, I think they were all probably all in the
Yeah.
same crew anyhow. So, yeah.
Nothing like a good Don Rickles fact.
Right.
But yeah, guys, if you're listening, thank you very much for Cannonball Run. Just because you can cue like sad music in the
Sad
background.
music, yeah.
Just because we don't agree with you all the time doesn't mean
I'm thinking of the ending song that you'll hear in the Incredible Hulk show when Bill Bixby is walking away at the end. You don't remember that?
No.
Matt's getting there.
Is it close to that?
Kinda.
Yeah.
It's like he's
That's what I
hitting it.
remember. I can't. Yeah, I'm not.
He's hitting the tempo correctly, but he's way fucking up the notes.
I'm no singer.
So I was looking at the poll. I just took this off, so this is gone. Currently in
Thank
the lead.
God.
Currently,
God, thank you.
right. Currently in the lead is this is like a colonoscopy. You just get it out of the way and it's done.
It's done.
So Ferris Bueller is actually in the lead, but right behind it is Smokey and the Bandit. So we might be back to Burt Reynolds again. But Zap, like you said, you enjoyed that, right?
Sure.
You
So
saw it
I
recently.
and
okay.
I
Good.
would again 50 feet up. I think that they're the same movie.
But
All right.
but touching on this so
And did
soon,
you-
like it would be, I think, too soon.
Did you like Smokey and the Bandit?
Yeah, I
Okay,
did.
okay.
But I think it
haven't
would be
seen in a
too
while,
soon with
so-
this one doing like a double Burt.
But we
That's
got
a lot.
But they vote on it. So if they vote it, we got to do it. I mean, that was kind of like
Don't we
what
get the
said.
don't we get the old dirty what would they call it, the old dirty
old dirty override?
Well,
old dirty
But
override?
this might be the old dirty delay instead of the old dirty
Yeah.
override.
Yeah.
Just put it off.
Yeah, we can move it for because too much Reynolds. I think you can't take it.
It's too much of a good thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
You want to spread that out. You want to savor
Mhm.
that.
savor
Mhm.
it. Just give him time to recover after
Yeah.
we bashed him. Well, he passed away too, anyhow, so
Yeah.
he's not listening to
He's
this.
dead as fried chicken.
Right. But at any rate, continue to vote on those movies. We'll be back next week with a brand new review. Hopefully, Ferris Bueller. That's one I'd like to touch on.
yes, that's a fun one.
You guys ain't got anything else before we close it out?
I'm good.
All right, so
Me
don't
also, yeah.
So don't forget to find us on Facebook and Instagram at Old Dirty Basement, on TikTok at Old Dirty Basement Podcast, and also we have a YouTube page as well at Old Dirty Basement. Eventually here I'd like to start getting videos up there, please spread the word. Let your friends know if you're enjoying the show. We want to grow this thing, get more listeners. Obviously, that's the end goal, to put more content out and keep you guys coming back for more. So at any rate, I guess that's it for now. I guess that's it for now. So we'll catch you where?
On the flip side.
If we don't see you sooner, we'll see you later.
Peace. Thanks for listening to The Vintage Cinema Review in the Old Dirty Basement. If you dig our theme music like we do, check out the Tsunami Experiment. Find them on Facebook. Their music is streaming on Spotify and Apple, and where great music is available.
You can find us at Old Dirty Basement on Facebook and Instagram, and at Old Dirty Basement Podcast on TikTok.
Peace.
We Audi 5000.